Hi friends, Happy New Year and welcome back to Scrapbook Your Legacy with Carrie. I'm so glad you're back with me and thank you so much for watching my videos, for commenting. I love hearing from you all and I am responding to everybody, so and I do enjoy that interaction. I'm sorry my voice sounds a little weird. I kind of woke up that way and then was out for a walk and so it's probably just catching up with me a little bit, and probably just from our fun time last night. Every year now on New Year's Eve, we have some of our close friends over and just do a game night, and everybody brings food and we have a big potluck and it's just a fun time. So that was last night, which, comment below and let me know what you all do. Today I am going back to my Wyoming and Colorado album from the summer. So I have a lot of catching up to do in that. So today I have photos from that. This is actually a postcard. Way back I did a video, I say way back, it was like 6 months ago. I did a video on different ways to bring interest into a travel album and photos of things that you can't see. So this is a 1920 photo as a postcard of one of the main thoroughfares in Cheyenne, Wyoming. And this is a close-up, but it's the same photo today. So 2025, 1920. So yeah, Cheyenne was a beautiful city to visit. We were there because one of my sons loves the railroad, and it is the hub for the Union Pacific. And so we toured the museum, went through, this is the train station, and behind that is just a massive network of railroad and what used to be the build yard and shop yard. It's much smaller now. Oh, I think my puppy is trying to come in. Go lay down. So anyway, so we took some time to drive around the city. It has a Victorian flair to it. So today I'm just going to show you the layout process for this, but also how I use just my papers when I don't have stickers or embellishments, how I use my papers to bring interest to a layout with texture and color and all of that, and kind of creating my own embellishments, so to speak, to help it be interesting. Hang on one second. All right, go. Out. Out you go. Go. Shoot. Okay. So we're going to bring all that out. Hopefully she's done. I think she came in here and realized that there's nothing exciting going on for her, and so she's leaving. All right. So let me bring these papers out. I might need to restick some stuff. All right, so what I've used here is our beige paper with our new caramel cardstock. And then I have done a lot of inking to try to create a more aged look for this and give it a little more interest. Because like I said, this is it. I don't have stickers per se. And I don't really have embellishments for what I wanted. I didn't want it to be, even though it's a Victorian turn-of-the-century city, I did not really want to do a lot of flourishing kind of things. But if you want to do that with older photos, then I would go ahead and do a layout that you love. This spoke to me because it's a Western city, and I kind of wanted it to be a little rough with some texture. So what I did is, and I will show you this, I created my own bricks. These are a 1/2 inch by 1 inch, and I just cut a whole row of them, crumpled them up. This is what I did here. I took a 1 inch by 1/2 inch piece and then just crumpled it up, and then I inked it. So I'll show you how I ink that. Let me bring this down, because then we'll start getting our papers down. So yeah, so I just crumpled that up to create some texture in the paper, and then let me zoom in a little bit so you can see better how I did this. I just took where is it here? A sponge dauber, and just got it on ink. I use, most of the time I use a Versifying Clair Morning Mist ink. I heard about that from Dorothy Guinan over at Scrapbook in Quebec. So on the side that's crumpled, you know, where there's more ridges, I just took this and I just went along and got ink on the pieces that are raised. So you can see here how you can see the ink on some of those ridged pieces. So it kind of gives the effect of the brick, aged brick. So that's what I did for that. And then I just created little bits of brick wall. And so now we'll get these going down so that they all Ferngully down. But comment below, how were your holidays? Did you enjoy time with family? Go on, go downstairs. All right, hopefully she'll leave us alone now. She doesn't know what to do with herself right now. It's been a busy time for her. All right, so we're gonna do this. This is my title, and then I'm just gonna bring that in, and then I'm gonna layer. She might also be looking for something to steal. She does like to steal things when she's a little bored. We just came back from a walk. But yeah, how do you spend your New Year's Eve? Comment below on that, and projects that you're thinking about for the new year. I want to get this Colorado album done. All right, so that's that side. And then on this side, I also, you'll see it over here, I crumpled this newsprint. It's just words, like travel words. So this is a stash busting layout as well. I'm trying to use up a lot of my travel papers. I have Deeper in the Woods for this album, but it's not really appropriate for downtown. So that's why this is a stash busting layout. So then I crumpled up, oh, and let me zoom out. I'm sorry about that. Here I am showing you stuff, and let me get this centered. There we go, that's better. All right, we'll bring this over a little bit so you can see it better. Just move everything to the left. All right, so what I was showing is that there's a crumpled piece that I also inked, very similar to the bricks. And then on this side, same thing. I have a longer sheet. So let me tell you the sizes. Caramel is 12 by 12. The beige paper to make the frame style is 11 by 11. This linen look piece of paper is 6 7/8. Oh, this one here. This piece here that I backed these photos with. This is 6 7/8 by 4.5 to frame 2 3x4s. And then this piece of paper here is 7 7/8 by 1 7/8. And then my bricks are 1/2 inch by 1 inch. So I just cut strips of paper and then ran them through the paper cutter. And then for this side, this writing paper is 3 by 12. And then this piece is 9.5 by 10.5, this linen look. So you can see on this how I crumpled it, and then much like the bricks, I inked the ridges to just give an aged look, and then around all the outside edges. So we're gonna get these down. But this trip into Cheyenne was a lot of fun. Cheyenne is a beautiful city, no skyscrapers. So it's just, you don't really see it from the highway. You have to drive in, and beautiful parks. And so we just really enjoyed visiting the city, and of course the history of the railroad there, which appeals to one of my sons. So we kind of structure our trips around a lot of what our sons like to go and see, and my husband too. I mean, I get to pick stuff too, but we'll usually go to a car museum, and then whoops, I'm not big with art museums, but I'll do an art museum. It depends on the art museum. But I like the botanical gardens, and so I usually look for those, or just anything outside. I really like being outdoors, hiking. I wouldn't say I'm a mountain climber, but I'll tell you, some of the hikes that we've done, you are climbing. But then, yeah, the botanical gardens. And I don't mind like touring houses, but you know, I find the car museums and the train museums that the guys do. Sorry it's taking so long to get this down. It's just, I'm trying to use up this adhesive and it's broken. And so once I replace it, it will be fine. But I want to use up the adhesive in there before so I'm going to bring this down. I might have to lift it up again, but I did some paper tearing here so that you could see the brick, and then inked the edges of this. So I just want to create a border here with the paper. And there we go. So there is going to be some lift to this because I've crumpled papers. It's not going to be a completely flat layout. So all I want to do is line up these photos here across the page. So I have one continuous line. And then look at the detail in some of these buildings. I mean, they are just so beautiful. The workmanship, the craftsmanship. And then this was, I think, the Wrangler building. I had another picture of it. But anyway, it's pretty cool with the sign with the horse and rider. There's a lot of history out there with the cowboys and then the settlers, the immigrant trails, and then the Pony Express and the railroad. I mean, there's a lot out there. Okay, and then I have a peekaboo pocket here. So my journaling piece will go here to tell. I don't have a lot to tell about it. This was an ice cream place. I stopped at because it was warm that day. So that was a cute little spot on the side there. And then, yep, Wrangler. You can't really see it there, but it says Wrangler. So that's a neat store. All right, so we are going to start putting these down. I know some of you have commented you've been out to Wyoming, but yeah, let me know below. What other places have you been to? This was a fun trip. One of my sons, who loves the railroad, well, and he loves airplanes, planes, trains, and automobiles. That's his vibe. And he had done some research on the railroad and wanted to stop here to see the shop where they work on the Union Pacific. But unfortunately, the day that we were in Cheyenne, we could not get into the shop. It wasn't open that day, but we did tour the museum, which is in the train station. And he also wanted to see, there was I call it a historic train, not a ride. You could ride on it, but it was the Union Pacific Big Boy, which there's only, I think, one now running, and they happened to be running it while we were in Colorado with a historic train car, the Abraham Lincoln. And so we went up to, I want to say it was Fort Collins, and I will be doing a layout of that because that was just incredible. If you've never seen a Big Boy, and comment below if you have railroad enthusiasts in your family, because I have one. I've got a couple of them, my dad and one of my sons. And it was, now, okay, on this photo here, there's just a lot of trees. There's really nothing. They had all these banners up, I think, from the 4th of July, but also it was rodeo days in Cheyenne. And so there was a huge rodeo going on at the fairgrounds. And I would have loved to have seen that for sure. So I'm just going to overlap that and just create some interest on the page that way. All right, so this piece is down. So I'm going to lay these photos down. And this is it for my embellishments. I've got the bricks to kind of bring in the color of the buildings. Very simple layout, but I feel like it has impact because of the crumpled papers, the inking, the texture from these papers and the bricks. So it doesn't, you don't have to do a lot to make your pages interesting. And, you know, these are old buildings, so I wasn't really sure what to do. And I don't have like a lot of like bricky kinds of things. And I didn't want to be, you know, I just wanted to keep it simple is really what I'm saying. And just let the buildings, like, look at the colors on this. This might have been a hotel at one time or a movie. I guess it's the Atlas Theater. But the colors on that, the blues and that burgundy color, It's really beautiful. Anyway, we enjoy this. So yeah, comment below on, you know, if you're familiar with the trains. And this big boy train is probably, I want to say it's 2 stories tall. You know, the wheels on it, it is, I think the wheels are almost like, they are just massive. I'm probably exaggerating a little bit, but it is a massive train. And so when that came rolling down the tracks, it just gets you. It's, you know, like it was it was emotional to see that train and just the history of it all. I can appreciate that, and just really enjoying it. So that layout will be actually be coming up at the end of this, because we did that later in our trip. But anyway, yeah, let me know, one, how your holidays were. Are you someone who does New Year's resolutions? I used to, and then I'm terrible about it. So now I set goals for myself, to learn something new, to do something, you know, just challenging myself to do some things rather than a resolution. I set goals for myself. And all right, so there is the layout. Well, and I'll share, I'm sorry, I'm all over the place today, coming off of holiday brain here. But I think one of the goals I've set for myself, one of my goals for last year, which I didn't realize it was going to be, was starting YouTube. YouTube terrified me, and I just decided to jump in head first and just our feet first and just kind of, you know, sink or swim kind of thing. And, you know, kind of figure it out as I go, which probably isn't the best way to enter YouTube, but it worked. And then this year, I think I may be trying to do Instagram to load up some of the finished layouts. You know, my Facebook group, my Facebook page is growing for this, so I'm grateful for that. So I'm just going to keep plugging along and doing that. And and I wanted to let you know that Creative Memories has a large launch coming out tomorrow. They're releasing a bunch of new products for the start of the year. So there's the new collection, Your Own Way, coming out, which is the Noteworthy Days from last year. Your Own Way is this year's album in a year. It will integrate with Noteworthy Days. So if you still have papers left over from that collection, they will marry well with this new collection. Your Own Way is more jewel tones, magentas, jade, teal colors. Not as earthy as Noteworthy, but those colors are in there. So if you still have some of that stash, you'll be able to finish that off. I'm excited about this new collection. Crib Memories is changing, I think, in a good way. So I'm excited about it. They are releasing a new Border Maker cartridge, and I've put all this over on my Facebook page, but more basic shapes. So the first Border Maker cartridge for the year is a scallop. And so we just need some good foundational pieces for our scrapbooks. So that will be awesome. And then if you were collecting all of the simple page kits, they are continuing with that, but not with the folders. If you remember last year, each quarter you could get a folder. They are not doing that this year, which is bringing the price point down. And so you can pick up the January one or the first quarter. But they are going to be bringing some exciting things for us this year. A lot of ways for people to get their albums done and not be intimidated by the process. All right, so here's that postcard of Cheyenne from 1920. And here are the bricks, all right, with that frame style layout. I basically cut for the frame a 1-inch border and then cut my paper down to 11 by 11. So I end up with a 1/2-inch border on this side. So I gutted it to save my caramel paper. This is just a sticker of the flag of Wyoming. So I felt like that was a great piece for the title as well, and just a nice embellishment on the page. And I showed you the bricks. And then here's the paper. And then this is that same shot from up here, but in 2025. and then just some of the Victorian homes. So then over here on this side, I've got my peekaboo pocket, but then you can see how I've inked some of the edges, the paper tearing to reveal the brick, and then some more crumpled paper. So I feel like that really created an interesting layout, a great way to do a historic city. And there we go. One and done, all done. Easy peasy. Just 2 sheets of paper. Well, 3, 4. All right, I lied. 4 sheets, but a lot of scraps. These were scraps. These were scraps that were laying around from being gutted, you know, gutting a page. So really just, again, a stash busting layout. All right, well, next week I'll be coming back with more. I'm going to be focusing more on the travel, but also, again, starting the next album in a year. So bringing those to you, and then some of my older pictures. Well, Happy New Year to you. I hope that this is a year full of excitement and blessings for you. And I look forward to you joining me each week. Thank you so much for being a part of this. Don't forget to like and subscribe to help my channel grow. I appreciate all of you who are doing that. And have a great New Year's Day. And I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.